Every time we search the web, we're bombarded with free, instant data. But for a business trying to navigate a major decision, that surface-level information is insufficient. Professional market research takes weeks to compile and often costs as much as a luxury car. That investment buys a systematic collection of intelligence designed to steer major corporate investments. Without it, a single wrong decision can trigger a massive fall in sales, thousands of lost jobs, and millions of dollars wiped off a company's share price. To justify this expense, managers apply a return on investment test, weighing 4 questions. What's the size of the investment? Is there a gap in current knowledge? What's the risk of deciding without new intelligence? And is an independent voice needed to resolve internal debates? Commissioning a study isn't an automatic reflex for every business choice. It acts as a calculated insurance policy, triggered only when the cost of guessing completely overshadows the price of finding out the truth. Once a company decides they absolutely need that insurance, they send out a distress signal to market researchers. This is the market research brief, a formal document detailing the background of their problem and what they hope to achieve. There is a core philosophy in this industry. A problem well defined is a problem half solved. A highly specific brief naturally dictates the exact objectives of the upcoming survey. To build that definition, the sponsor has to outline the specific history that caused the problem. They need to identify the exact target audience they want to reach and list the precise information gaps that require filling. If a client skips those details, the entire operation breaks down. Without a rigidly engineered brief, the ensuing research will lack direction, wasting both time and capital on the wrong questions. Receiving the brief kicks off the design phase. Here, the researcher's job is to translate the client's wish list into a mathematically viable project plan. They do this by balancing 4 competing constraints. Every project is a continuous negotiation between the information required, the accuracy needed, the available budget, and the timetable. Take the information constraint. A broad client outcome, like deciding whether to launch a new product, has to be broken down into granular research objectives, which are then split again into dozens of highly specific survey questions. Then there is the strict mathematical tension between accuracy and the budget. If a client wants a robust quantitative survey, they need a sample size of at least 200 respondents. Pushing that accuracy lever up directly forces the budget lever to rise right alongside it. The true value of a professional researcher lies in engineering a project that maximizes those data points without breaching the client's financial ceiling. The final, and often most punishing, constraint is the timetable. Properly executed market research typically requires a minimum of 6 to 10 weeks from start to finish. This timeline exists because of the physical friction of data collection. Finding the right people, conducting the fieldwork, and running the statistical analysis are highly labor-intensive stages that simply cannot happen overnight. When a client demands a drastically compressed schedule, the system strains. Pulling the speed lever either demands a massive influx of budget to expedite the labor, or it forces a severe drop in statistical accuracy. There are no loopholes in the physics of research. Forcing a project into an unnaturally tight window inevitably results in a flawed, compromised design. After calculating the trade-offs, the researcher submits the return of brief, the proposal. This document acts as a formal, binding contract for a high-value transaction, defining the precise scope of the work. You can think of it as an architect's drawing. It maps out exactly what the agency plans to achieve, the specific mechanisms they will use to get there, and a firm timeline for delivery. A rigorous proposal details the exact methodology, whether that involves qualitative focus groups or quantitative online surveys. It outlines the specific credentials of the research team handling the data, and it provides a completely transparent breakdown of the final fee. Because market research is highly customized, the sheer quality and attention to detail within this document is the primary factor in whether a firm actually wins the business. Getting to that final proposal requires heavy communication. Researchers will actively question the client during the handoff, stress testing the initial assumptions to ensure they are targeting the right objectives. As the project evolves, the team will need to remain flexible on the exact wording of the questions, but the core structural design, specifically the number and type of interviews, must stay locked in place, because that is the foundation of the price. When you combine a highly precise brief with a meticulously balanced proposal, you generate a reliable map for corporate decision-making. A rigorous design phase ensures that every dollar spent on intelligence reduces the probability of a multi-million-dollar mistake. It replaces internal guesswork with an objective map of the market.